Tonight, we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty.
In a jaw-dropping moment from the courtroom, Diddy has once again proven that his influence knows no bounds. Today, the judge exploded at him for what many are calling a sign of pure arrogance, smirking during the proceedings. Despite facing some of the most serious charges of his career, Diddy had the audacity to grin in the face of the law. An insider put it perfectly. He's so powerful, everyone was afraid to cross him. Even though he's behind bars now, he's still so powerful. We all knew it even back then. That smirk? It's a reminder of just how untouchable Diddy believes himself to be. We're diving deep into the details of this explosive courtroom drama, so stick around and make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because you won't want to miss what happens next. Modern-day Gatsby. He was often likened to a modern-day Jay Gatsby. This is how media outlets described Sean Diddy Combs, formerly known as Puff Daddy Puffy and P. Diddy, at the turn of the millennium. By then, he was already an established rapper, record mogul, and businessman who had dramatically transformed the hip-hop landscape. Diddy had a unique ability to shape the culture around him, bending it to his will. The extravagant white parties he hosted from 1998 to 2009 didn't just attract A-list celebrities, they solidified their statuses in the entertainment world. He was incredibly beloved musically and an incredibly important part of the culture, remarked Touré, a music journalist and culture critic with The Griot. However, much like Gatsby, there was an underlying darkness that lingered beneath Diddy's glamorous life. Throughout his rise to prominence, shadows of violence, rumors, and court cases trailed behind him, but none of these obstacles slowed his ascent. As news of federal raids broke, the stars who once filled his parties and the colleagues he helped elevate remained eerily silent. The Washington Post reached out to over 40 such individuals, yet most declined to comment on the record regarding the now-disgraced mogul. Culture critic Jamila Lemieux noted, "I can't help but think that there are a lot of people who at least had some clue as to what was going on, and that they've chosen to protect him. Money will go a long way in terms of protecting you. If you can pay people for their silence, you can get away with a lot." To date, Combs has not been charged with any crimes, and he has consistently denied any wrongdoing. Meanwhile, federal authorities have remained tight-lipped about the ongoing investigation. Should charges arise, they could mirror Gatsby's swift downfall as whispers and discreet accusations transform into lawsuits, raids, and a crumbling empire. When a powerful black man is accused of these kinds of crimes, many want to believe he's the victim of a conspiracy to take him down, Lemieux pointed out. She also referenced the silence or defensiveness surrounding R. Kelly before his own downfall. "I think there are people who will continue to hold Diddy in high regard because of what he has accomplished." Lemieux emphasized that men are not judged by their relationships to women. On November 16, 2023, Cassie, Combs' ex-girlfriend, filed a groundbreaking lawsuit against him, accusing him of sexual assault. This lawsuit would become the first of 5, with 2 claims of rape filed in New York County Court. The other 3, which allege human trafficking alongside sexual assault, were filed in federal court in the Southern District of New York. Cassie, whose legal name is Cassandra Ventura and who was once signed to Combs' label, Bad Boy Records, detailed in her lawsuit the notorious sex parties, referred to as freak-offs, that Combs allegedly orchestrated. According to the lawsuit, Combs would fly in male sex workers, compelling Cassie to engage with them while administering a cocktail of drugs, ecstasy, cocaine, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol, leading to her requiring IV fluids the following day for recovery. The lawsuit also claims that Combs physically abused her throughout their 11-year relationship and exerted total control over her life. In a particularly alarming incident in 2012, Combs allegedly threatened Cassie during Paris Fashion Week, vowing to blow up the car of her then-boyfriend, Kid Cudi. Shortly after, the lawsuit alleges, Coodie's car exploded in his driveway, a fact confirmed by Coodie's spokeswoman to the New York Times. In response to Cassie's claims, Combs's attorney accused her of blackmail, asserting that she had previously demanded $30 million, threatening to publish a damaging book about their relationship. Just one day after filing the lawsuit, Cassie settled for an undisclosed amount. Combs's lawyer stated, "Mr. Combs's decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims." Yet the legal troubles did not end there. 4 additional lawsuits were filed in the following months. One suit filed by a Jane Doe alleges that in 2003, Combs and his associates coerced her to fly from Detroit to New York City, where they incapacitated her with alcohol to the point of inability to consent, resulting in her rape. Another lawsuit comes from Rodney Jones, a music producer who worked on Combs's latest project, The Love Album. Jones alleges that Combs forced him to solicit sex workers and perform sexual acts for Combs's enjoyment during sex parties in 2022 and 2023, threatening physical violence if he refused. He also accused Combs of hosting underage girls at these events. Numerous lawsuits claim that Combs filmed these sexual encounters, with some alleging he used the videos as a means of control over those involved. Despite the serious nature of these accusations, Combs vehemently denies all charges. His attorney has stated he views these lawsuits as a money grab. Because of Mr. Combs's fame and success, he is an easy target for accusers who attempt to smear him. On Instagram, Combs asserted, "Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." On March 25th, the Department of Homeland Security conducted raids on Combs's homes in Los Angeles and Miami as part of an ongoing investigation, but they did not provide further comments on the matter. Combs's attorney condemned the raids, calling them a gross overuse of military-level force and characterizing them as a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. Despite the mounting allegations, Combs has remained defiant. Tabloids have published images of him biking around Miami Beach, appearing carefree. In one photograph, he flashed a bright smile and a peace sign, seemingly unfazed. On April 5th, after the news cycle began to quiet down, he shared an 8-minute music video for his 1997 song Victory on Instagram, a piece that depicts him running from police. "Bad boy for life," the caption read, serving as a stark reminder of the highs and lows that have defined his tumultuous career. Diddy all smiles in court before prosecutors hint at new charges. On October 9th, Sean Diddy Combs made a significant court appearance that could change the course of his legal battles. This gathering marked a crucial moment for the music mogul, who is facing serious charges. Judge Aaron Subramanian announced that Diddy will stand trial starting May 5th of next year. The prosecution expects that it will take about 3 weeks to present its case, while Diddy's legal team estimates needing only 1 week to lay out their defense. As Diddy arrived at the Manhattan courthouse, the atmosphere was tense. His family was present to support him during this pivotal moment. Among them were his mother, Janice Combs, and his 6 children, twins Jesse and Delilah, daughter Chance and sons Christian, Justin, and Quincy. Diddy stepped into the courtroom dressed in a long-sleeved tan prison shirt and pants. Although he wasn't handcuffed, he was visibly shackled at the feet. While waiting for the judge to arrive, Diddy shared a brief moment of laughter and smiles with his attorney, trying to maintain a sense of calm amid the storm. As the proceedings began, he glanced around the room, acknowledging his family. His daughters blew kisses back at him when he waved, a touching moment that showcased the family's solidarity. After the hearing concluded, Judge Subramanian expressed gratitude to Diddy's family for their presence. The media was subsequently escorted out of the courtroom, leaving the family to support Diddy in private. Diddy's legal team is expected to receive crucial discovery material from the prosecution in the coming 30 days. The U.S. Attorney's Office revealed that a total of 96 devices were seized from Combs during raids at his various homes, 9 at the airport, 36 in Miami, and 51 in Los Angeles. Additionally, his phone was confiscated during his arrest on September 16th, alongside a search of his hotel room in Manhattan. While the government expects to complete downloads from these devices soon, they indicated that the discovery process will continue through December. Combs remains incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and is no longer seeking to change his location unless necessary for reviewing evidence. In the lead-up to the status conference, Diddy submitted a letter to Judge Subramanian, requesting a trial date in April or May. Prosecutors confirmed their availability during those months, but did not specify a preference for the trial date. In a joint letter submitted ahead of the hearing, the prosecution outlined that they had begun turning over evidence to Diddy's legal team, which included search warrants and reports from his phone and iCloud. They are also in the process of extracting information from an additional 40 electronic devices seized during the raids. Diddy's legal team is now pushing for bail, marking their third attempt after Judge Andrew L. Carter Jr. recused himself from the case. Carter Jr. had previously denied Diddy's second bail request, citing concerns that the rapper might tamper with witnesses. The judge asserted that the prosecution had convincingly demonstrated that no set of conditions could ensure community safety. However, Diddy's lawyers argued in their latest filing that he poses hardly a risk of flight. They highlighted his status as a father of 7, a U.S. citizen, and one of the most recognizable figures in the world, a successful artist, businessman, and philanthropist. This argument was intended to counter the prosecution's concerns about witness tampering and flight risk. In a recent filing, Combs claimed he has been deprived of a fair trial due to what he called unlawful government leaks. He accused agents from the Department of Homeland Security of providing false and prejudicial statements to various press outlets over the past several months, particularly following the raids on his homes. One specific allegation involved the leaking of a 2016 surveillance video that purportedly showed him assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The government denied any involvement in leaking the video. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson explained to Diddy's lawyer that they were not in possession of the video before CNN published it in May. Johnson clarified, "To be clear, to our understanding, DHS did not have possession of the videotape prior to CNN's publication of it." She further stated that only the government has the authority to obtain grand jury material, asserting that the video broadcast by CNN was not obtained through any grand jury process. Diddy now faces serious charges, including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution, following an indictment unsealed on September 17th. If convicted, he could face a minimum sentence of 15 years to life in prison. Authorities allege that Combs operated a criminal enterprise through various businesses, employing coercion, threats, and abuse to fulfill his sexual desires. Reports indicate that he and his associates allegedly intimidated and lured women into his circle under the pretense of romantic relationships, ultimately forcing them to engage in sexual acts with male sex workers he referred to as freak-offs. Diddy's lawyers vehemently deny these allegations and maintain that the rapper is innocent as the case continues to unfold. With the trial date set, all eyes will be on this high-profile case as it progresses through the judicial system. The coming months will be pivotal for Diddy, his family, and his legal team as they navigate the challenges ahead. Tough childhood that shaped him. As Combs transitioned from the challenges of his upbringing to the thrilling heights of fame, little did he know that his journey would soon take a tumultuous turn with the mounting legal charges against him. The same relentless drive that propelled him to success would now face scrutiny in a very public arena, contrasting the vibrant image he had built in the world of hip-hop. Combs was born in Harlem in 1969 to Janice Combs and Melvin Earl Combs, a sharp-dressed man who drove limousines for notorious New York drug kingpin Frank Lucas. Describing his father as a hustler and a drug dealer, Combs often reflected on the complex legacy that shaped his life. Tragically, in 1972, when Combs was just a toddler, his father was murdered in what Combs would later describe as a drug deal gone bad. This traumatic event forced his mother to take on 3 jobs to support her children, Combs and his younger sister Keisha, while their grandmother stepped in to help watch over them. These early experiences instilled in Combs a relentless hustle mentality. He spoke to Oprah Winfrey in 2006 about a formative moment from his childhood, recalling how at the age of 9 he was sent to the store by his grandmother and had his money stolen. "My mother wouldn't let me in the house," Combs recounted. "She said, 'Go back out there and get that money, and if anyone ever puts their hands on you, make sure they never do it again.' She knew the reality. If people smell weakness, they take advantage of you. You have to defend yourself." Combs painted a vivid picture of his upbringing, often sharing anecdotes that showcased the harsh realities he faced. "One day when I was growing up, I woke up and there were 15 roaches on my face," he once wrote in an Instagram caption, further underscoring the difficulties of his childhood. His artistic persona leaned into these darker elements, adopting the name Puffy, because, as he explained to Jet magazine in 1998, "Whenever I got mad as a kid, I used to always huff and puff. I had a temper. That's why my friends started calling me Puffy." However, his mother cast a slightly different light on his early life. In a 2002 interview with The New Yorker, she reminisced about Combs's childhood aspirations, recalling his dream of starting a paper route. "We had a Cadillac car and a house, and he liked life like that," Janice Combs said, highlighting moments of stability amidst the chaos. At the age of 12, Janice moved the family to Mount Vernon, New York, where Combs attended Mount St. Michael Academy, an all-boys Catholic school. He later enrolled at Howard University, although he only stayed for a few semesters before fervently pursuing his passion for music. Combs begged record executive Andre Harrell for an internship at Uptown Records in New York, a move that would change the trajectory of his life. In 1989, Combs made his music video debut dancing behind R&B singer Stacey Lattisaw in the video for her single What You Need. At the time, the 19-year-old Combs was working in the mailroom of Motown Records in New York. Lattisaw, who was already on her 10th studio album, was struggling to learn the choreography when Combs, with his stick-slim frame, stepped in to help. He danced so well that the producer was like, "You know what? How about you come along?" Lattisaw recalls. During a break from the 12-hour shoot, they sat on a nearby couch, where Combs revealed his aspirations. He seemed very focused. He had a lot of plans, Lattisaw remembers, a foreshadowing of the ambitious path that lay ahead. Just a year later, Combs officially joined Uptown Records, where he began his journey as a talent director. After 3 years in that role, he took a monumental step by starting his own record label, Bad Boy Records, setting the stage for his rise as a powerhouse in the music industry. Powerful empire. As the storm of legal challenges began to swirl around Diddy, it's essential to recognize the monumental impact he had on the music industry prior to this tumultuous period. Combs, known for his innovative spirit, spearheaded a new wave of musical mashups that started emerging from Harlem in the early 90s. These blend tapes, which featured DJs layering R&B vocals over harder rap beats, began circulating on cassettes and later on CDs, forever changing the musical landscape. The sound was revolutionary, and it helped change the music industry itself, explains Touré, a prominent cultural commentator. He elaborates, saying, hip-hop and R&B were no longer two separate worlds. While Toure has his own complex history with Combs, having previously claimed that a male relative had an internship with him that ended due to alleged sexual harassment, he chose to discuss Combs's cultural influence rather than his personal experiences. This innovative sound was the foundation upon which Combs built his empire. There was a period in the 90s, at least in the Northeast, where he was really the dominant sonic figure. Toure adds, he was constant. Combs's success came swiftly and decisively. The first song released under Bad Boy Records, Flava in Ya Ear by Craig Mack, debuted in 1994, quickly climbing to number 1. 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. The track was nominated for a Grammy and achieved platinum status. That same year, Bad Boy released the iconic album Ready to Die by the Notorious B.I.G., which has since become one of hip-hop's defining works, achieving platinum status 6 times over. Over the next 3 decades, Combs continued to expand his label, signing an impressive roster of artists that included Faith Evans, Mace, Carl Thomas, French Montana, Machine Gun Kelly, and Janelle Monáe. At one point, Bad Boy Records was valued at over $100 million, solidifying Combs's status as a titan in the music industry. Yet, as his influence and success grew, so did the shadows that loomed over his legacy. The recent legal troubles have threatened to overshadow the groundbreaking contributions he made to music, serving as a stark reminder that even the most powerful figures can find themselves facing the consequences of their actions. Storms followed, yet he escaped. As Diddy faced a storm of legal challenges, his life had already been marred by controversy long before these recent events. His first public brush with turmoil occurred in December 1991 when he helped organize a star-studded fundraiser for AIDS education at City College in New York. The event attracted an overwhelming crowd of approximately 5,000 attendees, far exceeding expectations. However, the chaos that ensued at the gymnasium's single entry door resulted in a tragic stampede, claiming 9 lives and leaving dozens injured. This calamity led to at least 10 civil suits and 8 personal injury cases, some naming Combs as a defendant. In 1998, he testified as a witness in a lawsuit against the college, ultimately paying at least $750,000 in settlements to victims and their families, according to the BBC. As hip-hop began to ascend to the pinnacle of American pop culture in the mid-90s, tensions flared between East Coast and West Coast factions in the industry. If Bad Boy Records defined the East Coast sound, Death Row Records, co-founded by Marion Suge Knight, represented the West Coast's cultural counterpoint. On November 30th, 1994, the conflict escalated dramatically when Death Row's biggest star, Tupac Shakur, was shot 5 times in the lobby of Quad Studios in Times Square. Although he had been close with the Notorious B.I.G., Tupac suspected Biggie and Combs were involved in the shooting, as they were both present that night. The gunman made off with Tupac's diamond ring and gold chains, but left behind his diamond-encrusted Rolex, indicating a targeted attack. No one else at Quad Studios was harmed, and both Biggie and Combs vehemently denied any involvement in the incident. Following the shooting, Tupac released multiple tracks that directly insulted Biggie and Bad Boy Records. Tensions escalated further in September 1995, when witnesses reported a confrontation between Combs's bodyguard and Jai Hassan Jamal Robles, a member of Death Row's entourage, shortly before Robles was shot and killed. Tragically, in September 1996, Tupac was killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, and just 6 months later, Biggie met a similar fate in Los Angeles. For years, Combs faced relentless rumors alleging his involvement in Tupac's death, which he denounced as pure fiction and completely ridiculous. In a matter of months, the hip-hop community lost 2 of its brightest stars, and the fallout continued to haunt Combs. In 1999, he appeared in Nas's music video for Hate Me Now, portraying a Jesus figure crucified and wearing a crown of thorns. Despite expressing second thoughts about the scene, it remained in the final cut. Later that day, a heated encounter with Interscope Records executive Steve Stout turned physical when Combs allegedly punched him in the face and then struck him with a phone. This incident led to Combs' arrest on felony assault charges, which he later pleaded down to harassment, resulting in a one-day anger management sentence. Reports suggest he also paid Stout a significant out-of-court settlement. As December rolled around, Combs was seen in his signature white outfit, accompanied by his girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, engaging in conversation with former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger at the Met Gala. However, the turmoil was far from over. Later that month, Combs, Lopez, and rising rapper Shine found themselves in a nightclub altercation when a patron named Matthew Scar Allen allegedly shoved Combs and threw money in his face. Gunfire erupted as they attempted to flee the scene in a Lincoln Navigator, leading to their arrest. A gun was discovered under the front passenger seat, but Combs was ultimately acquitted of 4 counts of illegal possession and 1 count of bribery. Meanwhile, Shine was sentenced to nearly 9 years in prison for assault and gun possession, later alleging that Combs had betrayed him to save himself. In response, Combs asserted, "I was found innocent of all charges because I am innocent. It is absolutely ridiculous for anyone to blame me for anyone else's actions." In 2001, seeking to redefine himself, Combs changed his name from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy, claiming it was a lighthearted joke. Yet he kept the moniker. However, the change did little to quell the ongoing tide of controversy. In 2003, former Bad Boy Entertainment president Kirk Burroughs sued Combs, alleging he had threatened him with a baseball bat to relinquish his shares in the company. The case was ultimately dismissed by an appeals court due to the expiration of the statute of limitations. The legal troubles persisted as Combs was sued in 2007 for allegedly punching real estate agent Gerard Recknitzer and shoving Recknitzer's girlfriend, a dispute that eventually settled out of court. In 2015, he faced charges of assault with a deadly weapon following an altercation with his son's football coach at UCLA, in which he reportedly swung a kettlebell at the coaching staff. These charges were later dropped. The following year, Combs was accused of sexual harassment and retaliation by his ex-chef Cindy Rueda in a lawsuit, which was also settled. These controversies and legal entanglements have become a recurring theme in Combs' life, reflecting the tumultuous journey of a man who has experienced both monumental success and profound challenges. So powerful that he had the audacity to smirk. Despite the legal troubles that followed him, Diddy's ambition never wavered. He meticulously crafted the image of a self-made American mogul, determined to rise above the chaos. In March 1998, he purchased a 4-bedroom mansion for $2.5 million on Hedges Banks Drive in East Hampton, a celebrity hotspot. This extravagant purchase marked the beginning of a lifestyle that would redefine celebrity culture. Just a few months later, Combs hosted his first legendary white party, where attendees were required to dress in all white. Reflecting on the event, Martha Stewart noted in 2018, having an entire party all dressed in white was a stunning sight. The guest list was filled with A-listers, including Donna Karan, Leonardo DiCaprio, Howard Stern, Moby, Ashton Kutcher, Al Sharpton, Salman Rushdie, Paris Hilton, and Heavy D, all dressed in stylish white outfits. R. Corey Hay, a society columnist for Hamptons magazine, observed that the parties were more than just glamorous events. They were a platform for Diddy's self-promotion. When he and J-Lo came out of the balcony of his bedroom, he was swigging Cristal from the bottle, and they had their arms wrapped around each other, he recalled. It was like rap royalty. To complete the image of opulence, Combs even hired a valet, Farnsworth Bentley, to carry his umbrella on the beaches of Saint-Tropez. In the same year he launched his first white party, Combs introduced Sean John, his clothing line, with the same goal of bringing hip-hop into high society. The brand officially launched in 1999 with a splashy event at Bloomingdale's in New York. By 2010, Sean John had become a major player in the fashion world, with sales reaching $500 million a year. Robin Givehan of The Post wrote, he wanted to create fashion and change the face of the fashion industry. He did. Sean John reached its peak in 2004 when Combs became the first black designer to win the prestigious Menswear Designer of the Year award from the Council of Fashion Designers of America. The brand's success culminated in the opening of its first flagship store on Fifth Avenue. Although it closed in 2010, Sean John remained a symbol of Combs's influence in fashion. In 2016, he sold a majority stake in the brand, only to buy it back in 2021 for $7.5 million when it went bankrupt. However, Macy's phased out the label in 2023. Simultaneously, Combs's partnership with Diageo, the company behind Ciroc Vodka, began to crumble. After both parties failed to turn a significant profit from their tequila brand, De Leon, Combs filed a lawsuit against Diageo in 2023, alleging racial discrimination. By January 2024, the two parties had reached a settlement. Throughout his career, Combs earned a reputation as a hard-nosed businessman. Mace, one of his former protégés, has been vocal about Combs's business practices, particularly regarding publishing rights. In 2020, Mace accused Combs of refusing a $2 million offer to sell back his publishing rights, which he had initially sold for $20,000 when he was just 19. When I see the hurt and the pain of other people on Bad Boy, that motivates me to say something, Mace explained in a 2022 Instagram Live. Combs's management style also drew mixed reactions. Kalena Harper, who joined Diddy Dirty Money in 2009, saw him as a mentor who pushed his artists to work harder. I didn't feel like he was trying to break me down. I felt like he was trying to fast-forward me, Harper said. However, Aubrey O'Day, a member of Danity Kane, had a different experience. She was fired from the group in 2008, allegedly for being too promiscuous. In a 2022 interview, O'Day claimed she was dismissed because she didn't meet Diddy's expectations beyond talent, including physical appearance. In 2021, Diddy took on a new identity, legally changing his middle name to Love. His focus shifted to a more personal mission, releasing the Love album in 2023, his first solo studio project in 17 years. Love, he explained, was his guiding principle after losing both his former partner Kim Porter and mentor Harrell, alongside the cultural changes brought by the number sign Me Too movement. The number sign Me Too movement, the truth, is that it inspired me, Combs told Vanity Fair. As Combs aged into the role of hip-hop elder statesman, he seemed eager to make amends with artists who felt wronged by his past business practices. In September 2023, he returned publishing rights to his former artists and songwriters, a move Variety called possibly unprecedented in its scale. It's just doing the right thing, Combs insisted, denying any ulterior motives. However, some industry experts like Joe Poindexter argued that the rights might not hold significant financial value due to the sample-heavy nature of Bad Boy's catalog. Despite the controversies, Combs's legacy continued to grow. He was honored as an industry icon at the 2020 Grammys and received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2022 BET Awards. During his acceptance speech, he pledged $1 million each to Howard University and Jackson State University, following through on the donations the following year. As critics of Combs began to fade into the background, he was awarded a key to the city by New York Mayor Eric Adams just 2 months before Cassie filed her explosive lawsuit. Throughout his career, Combs has faced multiple challenges but has managed to survive and thrive through each one. Reflecting on his resilience, a former assistant remarked, "The thing I love about Puff is that he comes back." After B.I.G. died, people thought he would go right down the toilet. Then he put out a number, Beer Album. Despite setbacks, Combs always seemed to find a way to rise again. An insider added, "He's so powerful, everyone was afraid to cross him." His obsession with control was often seen as a mark of his creative genius, even as it led to conflict. That was a wild moment, seeing the judge completely lose it over Diddy's smirk during the trial. It's clear that even in the face of serious accusations, Diddy's confidence, or should we say arrogance, remains unshaken. What do you think? Is this just part of Diddy's untouchable persona, or is he taking things too far this time? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on this explosive case.